has Donald Trump really slammed Chinese imports with a staggering 245% tariff? Some headlines say yes, and the truth is that not across the board. Trump did not announce a brand new 245% tariff. In fact, the White House fact sheet released on the 15th of April mentioned that some goods now face up to that rate, but not all, and only after stacking multiple tariffs that are already in place. So the base tariff is there, and there are only some particular categories where it goes up all the way till 245%. Add in pre-2025 protectionist rates, sector-specific duties, fentanyl-related levies, and Trump's new 125% reciprocal hike, and that's where you arrive at that figure. For a few select items, that is your Chinese syringes, all these layered combined can lead to an eye-popping 245%. Of course, it's not across the board, as I said, but that's the maxed out rate on which some of the goods that are manufactured out of China will attract that levy. So yes, one can look at it both ways, whether is the sky falling or is it only partially so. But at the end of the day, the larger question is that what happens going forward in terms of the Trump trade war that is on between US and China. As Trump teases more trade action, the economic chessboard is only getting more complicated. And in the war of words and tariffs, headlines are what as they stand right now, which is that 245% exists, but not as I said, a blanket rate, but layered going up to that level. All right, let's get in Peter Cardillo, who joins me to talk more on this. He's Chief Market Economist at the Spartan Capital Securities, to talk more about what are the possible options, if at all there are any, Peter, at this stage, given the fact that this trade war is only escalating. One is seeing new tariffs being levied every single day and possibly more hawkish positions being taken up by both China and the US.
Yeah, that's right, and I think that's going to be the key to this trade war. As the trade war between China and the United States escalates and things get rougher, the markets will resent that, and the markets will eventually basically send a loud message to Washington and to Beijing that they need to work out a deal. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. But in the interim, obviously, there's probably going to be more pain in terms of market declines and, of course, uncertainties. And those uncertainties are going to slow down the growth, both here in the States and in China as well. And, of course, the biggest risk is whether or not China retaliates to a full-blown currency war. In the past few days, we've seen China retaliate. Yesterday, they blocked orders from Boeing, and of course, they have still tools in their shed that they can use. So I think the more hawkish rhetoric that comes out of Washington and more retaliations from China will probably force the hands of either Beijing or Washington to reverse course and get serious on making some sort of a trade deal, or we run the risk of the present trade agreement falling apart, and that would be very dangerous for the world economies.
It really would be very dangerous for the world economy, which is why some estimates that have just come in indicate that this could have long-term and possibly even dire consequences, simply because these are the largest and the second largest economies in the world, and their trade and their trading relationship has impact on the world as well. In fact, data that is just coming in and news that is just coming in indicates that the WTO has said that the US-China trade could actually plunge very significantly given what is happening, given these trade tensions that are taking place. You share that pessimistic view?
Yeah, and I think the more, as I said before, the more negative sentiment we get, the more pessimistic outlook we get, that will force Washington or Beijing to sit at the table and work out a deal. I don't think it's the plan of President Trump or Xi Jinping to send the global economy into a tailspin, because it would only mean that their economies are going to do likewise, and that would also create social unrest in all countries. And so I think, somewhere along the line that should be averted.
Indeed, that should be. And as we are talking, WTO has in fact warned on the Trump tariffs, and he has said, and WTO has said that global trade could actually reverse at some level. It's a very significant statement that's coming in from the World Trade Organization. Not only is it becoming completely irrelevant in present times, Peter, very quickly, you want to respond to what WTO is essentially saying, which is that global trade, globalization under immense threat right now.
Yeah, well, look, there's no question that globalization is going to change. I mean, that's basically what Washington wants. And the question is, how drastically will it change? So hopefully there won't be much damage to globalization, but the way trade will be carrying on forward is definitely there will definitely be a change in sight.
And lastly, do you think that there is any possibility of some sort of a trade negotiation that may come in between US and China? Because these are hawkish positions, but they also sort of set the stage for a possible deal or a possible give and take. Do you see that?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to answer that very quickly, and what I will say is this: is that when the markets get in dire strait, you can rest assured that there will be a change.
All right, let's leave it there, Peter. Thanks much for joining me.